It is time to call an end to the apocalyptic dreams of the Anthropocene, dreams that leave us isolated and alone in the wake of capitalism and colonialism's violent destruction of this planet. We must break the spell of human exceptionalism and remember that we are not alone. The Planthroposcene is an aspirational episteme that names a crucial accomplice. The Planthropocene insists that learning how to flourish alongside the plants may be among humanity's most pressing of projects. The Planthropocene is an invitation to root ourselves into ways of doing life that would break the frame of Anthropocene logics. As a concept, the Planthropocene hinges on a reckoning with the profound ways that plants catalyze and materialize the conditions of possibility for human and more than human life. It is grounded in the recognition that the photosynthetic ones, taking plant, algae, and bacterial form, make worlds livable and breathable for the rest of us. These green beings are the planet's most powerful agents of elemental rearrangement. They are practitioners of a kind of cosmic mattering. We think plants can't move, but they reach out across the cosmos, drawing the energy of the sun into their tissues so that they can work their terrestrial magic. Plants are world-making conjurers, pulling matter out of thin air. Their elemental rearrangements teach us the most nuanced lessons about matter and mattering. Plants know how to compose livable, breathable, and nourishing worlds. As they exhale, they compose the atmosphere. As they decompose, they matter the compost and feed the soil. They are the world's most talented of synthetic chemists, innovating nourishing sugars, potent toxins, tantalizing flavors, and intoxicating substances. They express themselves articulately and creatively through the volatile aromatics they emit to catalyze the effective ecologies all around them. Holding the earth down and the sky up, they sing in nearly audible ultrasonic frequencies as they transpire, moving massive volumes of water from the depths of the earth up to the highest clouds. And for those still caught up in the thrall of an economy that fetishizes carbon, perhaps the most important art these creatures practice is sucking up with gusto the gaseous carbon emissions we humans generate so abundantly. Plants are the substance, substrate, scaffolding, symbol, sign, and sustenance of cultures and economies the world over. If plants and people are one another's most powerful accomplices, then the figure that should ground our actions is not the self-aggrandizing anthropos, so much as the inextricably entangled hybrid figure we could call the planthropos. Like the involutionary momentum that propels the becoming wasp of an orchid and the becoming orchid of a wasp, the planthropos takes shape in any moment when we act on the profound realization that our very humanity hinges on our intimate relations with the plants. Indeed, we are of the plants. The Planthropocene acknowledges the joint and uncertain futures of plants and people and demands we change the terms of encounter so that we can become allies to these green beings. It's not that we need to learn how to collaborate with the plants. We need to learn how to conspire with them. That is, we must learn how to breathe with them. The Planthropocene is grounded in the wisdom of the ancient and ongoing radical solidarity projects that plants have already cultivated with their many people. And it aims to seed new conspiracies with the plants at every opportunity. Seeding plant-people conspiracies takes serious work. It requires detuning colonial common sense and its violent erasures of all forms of non-human sentience. Remember this: what is good for the plants is good for everyone else. Get on their side. Consider yourself at their service. Get to know plants intimately and on their terms. And be sure to tap into their desires for forms of life that are not for us. Support their efforts to keep the earth cool and the waters cleansed. Give plants space and time to flourish outside of the rhythms of capitalist extraction and the chemical violence of industrial agriculture. Remember, plants need their pollinators. They need their microbial and fungal relations. They need their animal allies. Above all, they need us to radically reconfigure how we stage our relations with them. Indeed, if plants are sun worshippers, perhaps we ought to be plant worshippers. A little reverence for the plants could go a long way. Invent rituals. Practice permaculture with the witches. Start a local church for plant worship. Don't worry. Reverence for the plants doesn't mean you can't eat them, but it does mean it would be polite to thank them for their generosity. Just think, if you had to consult the plants to ask permission to use them, industrial agriculture, strip mining, clear cutting, and the expanding concrete of urban sprawl would be unthinkable. Just ask. They will tell you. Yes, in the Planthroposcene, you too must learn how to talk to the plants. Don't worry. It isn't so difficult when you remember that you are already of the plants and that your senses are already vegetalized. Consider who taught you how to taste, how to smell, and how to experience color. Plants are the artisans who have taught us so much about beauty and form. Once you begin to awaken the latent plant in you, you will need to get interested and involved in the things that plants care about. Follow the plants. Let yourself be lured by their tropic turns, and you will acquire freshly vegetalized sensory dexterities. You can try this now. Imagine letting go of your bodily contours. Let the skin and flesh of your arms thin and fan outward, becoming membrane thin. Your bones dissolve and your muscles melt away. Begin to pump water through your veins until they elongate and branch into turgid vessels. Draw water up your growing stem and into your leaves. Play with this new buoyancy. Feel the lift and lilt as your leaves and stems reach for more sunlight. You are becoming phototropic. Lap up the sunlight through your greening leaves. Feel a cool pocket of air forming on the underside of your leaves as you release atmospheric vapors. You are photosynthesizing, eating sunlight, inhaling gaseous carbon, exhaling oxygen, and releasing water. As an agent of elemental rearrangement, you are composing the atmosphere and mattering the soil, becoming gaseous, becoming liquid, becoming vegetal. Ask yourself, what can you sense now? Now imagine dropping down into your roots. Extend yourself into the cool, moist earth. Feel your strength as a downward thrust that inspires an upward lift. Experiment with gravitropism. Feel a rush as you redistribute your awareness through this thin, filigreed tangle of roots that branch and branch until they reach the width of just a single cell. Find one of your root tips. Taste the wet, metallic soil. Smell that musty gradient of decaying matter flush with minerals. Propel yourself towards the source. Experiment with your strength. Push yourself up against the soil and grow through minute crevices between crumbling pieces of earth. What do you feel now? You can multiply this sensation. Feel 2 searching root tips, then 4. Can you extend your awareness to 5? Imagine sensing 1,000 root tips extending through the soil. Feel the rush as you expand your awareness to millions of sensitive root tips extending through the soil. Dive downwards and run outwards, drawing water and nourishment in and up through all of them simultaneously. Feel your whole root system humming with an electric charge. Now hook yourself into a thickening network of fungi, microbes, and other roots all around you. Feel the energetic thrill of connection. Run with it in every direction. What do you feel now? And as you come back to your body and to your breath, remember that you can continue to cultivate your inner plant in the rhythms of your daily practice. Keep rooting into the Planthroposcene, and soon you too will be ready to start a revolution in a garden.